Hey guys, I wanted to do a review of the guitar lesson website truefire.com, talk about some of its pros, cons, and see if it's the right guitar lesson system for you. When you first go to truefire.com, you're greeted with this. You can try the all access plan for free, which means you can get unlimited access to everything on the site for 30 days. No credit card required. That's always nice, especially if you're considering paying for a service. I always like to be able to try it out first, so it's cool that they have that. So I've spent some time on this website. I've been taking some of the lessons, but I want to take you through it as if it was my first time. I had a little bit of trouble at first, and here's why. So when you scroll, you'll see that there's a lot of things on here. My biggest problem with this is that it's a little bit unclear where to start. Whether you are a beginner, intermediate, advanced guitar player, there's not really an obvious hey, click here to get started place. If you go down the courses menu, I do see something called Learn to Play. I'm going to assume most people watching this are probably somewhere in the beginner to intermediate stage. Let's see what happens when you click on beginner. There's not a whole lot of organization here. When I started reading these titles, this one stood out to me. Learn Guitar 1, First Steps for Beginners, free. Seems like a pretty decent place to start, so let's go with that. This is indeed the first course that TrueFire recommends that you take to get started on your guitar journey. The cool thing about it is that it's free. When I scroll down, it's not immediately obvious what kind of lessons are going to be in this course. They actually have them listed out to the side. I kind of wish this part was more in the middle. All right, so let's click Watch Now and see where that goes. Okay, cool. This looks like what I want. If you look on the right here, you'll see all of the lessons that are part of this course. There's 34 of them, and you'll notice that most of them are between 1 and 3 minutes in length, which is really nice actually, because they're nice and short and easily digestible. So the demonstrations and overviews are exactly what they sound like. You just watch the instructor go through and show you a technique. The practice sessions are where it gets pretty interesting. And this is where the TrueFire video player really shines, because as you can see, below the video, you've got notation, you have tabs, chord diagrams, and if you expand this, you can even see the fretboard and what's going on live as the instructor is strumming it. So that's pretty impressive. As far as all of the online guitar lessons that we've tried, this is pretty second to none. It's a really smooth experience, and you can adjust the speed, you can make the screen bigger, smaller, adjust the volume, zoom in, zoom out. So okay, let's say that you get through all of the lessons. One question I had after that was, then what? The last lesson says wrap up and next steps, and they recommend that you go on to Learn Guitar 2. If it wasn't for that, again, that's one of the things I didn't really like, was that it wasn't immediately obvious where to go next. But okay, let's go with that, Learn Guitar 2. So this is where you start realizing how TrueFire works in terms of paying for lessons. Learn Guitar 2 is not free, it costs about $14. It's good to think of TrueFire kind of like an iTunes of guitar lessons, where you can a la carte buy any lesson you want and mix and match and make your own packages and choose your own adventure, which is good and bad. I think it's good if you know what you want to learn and what path you would like to take to get better at the guitar. I don't think that's as good if you are a beginner and would just like to be taken through a process. I didn't buy this, but you can preview any course. And you'll see here on the right-hand side that you can filter by free or the entire course. You'll see that there's a lot of lessons here, but a lot of them have the little lock icon, which means you can't access that until you pay for it. But you can get a taste for it and go through some of the free ones. So let's say you get through Learn Guitar 2, and then what? Well, after digging around a little bit, you'll learn that TrueFire recommends to go down a learning path. Learning paths essentially are style-based collections of courses. This is a little bit more what I was looking for. You have a progress bar of your overall progress. There looks like there's a little bit more organization here. So here you have the Learn Guitar 1, Learn Guitar 2, and then since I clicked on rock, now it looks like I get to do play rock guitar 1, play rock guitar 2, 3. But one thing I don't like is below each one of these you have supplementary courses, and there's a lot of them. Does that mean that they want me to do all these after I do this one? Or do I just kind of pick which ones I'm interested in? Anyways, so if we ignore those, I like the idea of going down these courses one by one. Now, each one of these courses costs money, right? If I go to this one, they're charging $21 for this one. So it can start adding up. So let's talk about the payment options. All access is what's being sold here. And basically that means that you have access to every single course, every single lesson across the site for a fee. So if you choose to pay monthly, that comes out to about $20 a month. If you know you're going to make at least a year commitment, it's much cheaper to go with the annual plan. But here's something you can do. If you're a beginner and you want to see if TrueFire is for you, earlier I told you they give you Learn Guitar 1 for free. You could go and buy Learn Guitar 2 and pay $14 for it, go through and see if that's for you. After that, if you're interested in one of these styles, let's say you want to learn jazz, you could buy the first course from the jazz plan and pay $10 for it. At this point, you should be able to see if TrueFire is right for you. They do offer a desktop app for both Mac and Windows. I'm using a Mac, so I downloaded it, installed it. This TrueFire experience is a little bit better than what I was envisioning when I said a simpler website. One cool thing is that you can download the entire course in case that you want to go practice somewhere where you don't have a fast Wi-Fi connection. So they also have a mobile app. I'll show you a couple of screenshots from that. Again, this is available for Android and iPhone. I have the iPhone version. Since they have less screen real estate to work with, they had to pare it down, and I think it looks a lot cleaner and is a lot easier to navigate. I still don't love everything about this. The icons are a little bit confusing. Anyways, a little bit unclear still, but on the right track. And of course, here's the actual video lesson, and you have all the same tools that you have on the desktop website and desktop app. Okay, so overall impressions. Let's go through some of the pros and cons. So the pros are that the lesson quality is awesome. I've tried out a lot of guitar lessons online, free ones, paid ones, and these are definitely worth the money. The instructors are really good. They just kind of seem like they want to be there helping you learn guitar, which is great. The beginner courses in particular they're good, they're easily digestible, and in general, the amount of content on TrueFire is huge. I mean, this really is like the iTunes of guitar lessons. They have an enormous library. The actual in-lesson video player tools are very polished with tabs, notation. The tools work great. The video player works great. For intermediate and advanced players, that's where the breadth of content really comes into play. You can find lessons on just about anything. So if you are already a pretty good guitar player and just want to get even better, you will find something for you. And in terms of pricing, it's pretty flexible. Whether you kind of want to piece together a la carte or you want to do an all-access plan, it's a pretty reasonable price. Definitely worth it for the amount and quality of content. I think some of the cons would be, the big one for me is, and this was a con when we reviewed the website a couple of years ago, and they've gotten better about it, but it's still, there's a general lack of organization. It's just not that clear on where to begin. After you poke around a bit, you can see that they want you to go through the fundamentals number 1, fundamentals number 2, and then pick a style learning path. There's another guitar lesson website that's very popular called Guitar Tricks, and they have a pretty solid beginner path system that actually is exactly like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if TrueFire kind of just looked at that as a model and copied it, which is fine, but I still think they could do a better job of putting that front and center. So yeah, TrueFire kind of tries to be everything to everyone, no matter what your skill level is or what you're into. They'll have something for you. It's just not always laid out in the most intuitive way. And even if you are an advanced player, it would be nice to kind of have a advanced player fundamentals course. I hope this helps. I think TrueFire is definitely worth, at the very least, the 30-day all-access free trial. I'm impressed with the changes they made over recent years, and I look forward to seeing them get better and better and possibly even work on that organization a bit.